Hello, it's Michelle Jeremy from the Wellness Clinic, and welcome to my webinar on anxiety. Anxiety affects everyone differently, and it can be brought on by different situations or experiences. It's our body's natural reaction to a perceived danger, and it focuses our attention and it gives us a rush of adrenaline, which is sometimes known as the fight or flight response. So in this webinar, I'm going to be looking at the common signs and symptoms, what is going on, and my top tips to deal with anxiety, and a lovely breathing exercise which will release anxiety and hopefully just calm you down. So what are the common signs and symptoms? And you can let me know if obviously you've experienced any of the following. So it's just a feeling of nervousness, restlessness, or feeling tense. It could be having a sense of panic or doom, an increase in heart rate, or the breathing rate to increase significantly. You could start to sweat, tremble. Some people flush. You can feel weak or tired, and you can have trouble concentrating or thinking about anything other than the present worry. Now, when we think of an anxiety attack, commonly known as a panic attack, just rev up those symptoms. So we have a surge of overwhelming panic, a feeling of losing control or going crazy. You have the heart palpitations or even pains in the chest. You may even feel like you're going to pass out. You tremble and shake, and you can have hot flushes or chills. So it's a much more severe and stronger response. So what's going on? Some people naturally react more than others. And there are times when everyone may go through stressful situations and feel anxious. And that's because of uncertainty or perceived threat, very much like the COVID situation that we are currently in. I like to explain our mind, our brain, as in two parts. So we have an old part and a new part. The old part is what drives our survival responses, emotions, and our instincts. The new part, which is more, I would say, us, it's our ability to imagine, analyze, and make judgments. Now, the old brain, so our old part, the responses are faster and they are geared purely to protect us. They would move us away from an oncoming car before the new brain even knows it's there. So if you just remember for a moment, keep this point in mind, that we are hardwired for survival and self-protection. So when the new brain and the old brain are working together, the old brain will see a threat and it will respond with a short shot of adrenaline. The new brain will catch up and assess the risk and will decide whether we need to fight, flight, or freeze. Now, the problems arise when the new brain and the old brain are not working together. So the new brain will use its imagination to create scary possibilities or scenarios. Our bodies will fill with stress and we lose the rational part of our thinking. We can fall into an anxious cycle leaving us tired, unwell, and our immune system low. But the good news is it can be changed. We can get the old part and the new part to be working together. So my top tips to deal with anxiety. First of all, understand it. Just acknowledge. Try keeping a diary of what you are doing and how you feel at different times to help you identify what's affecting you. So we will refer to those as what's your triggers. If you notice that you are feeling particularly anxious at particular times, maybe you need to give it time. So maybe set a particular time in the day, which is your worry time. And then throughout the day, if you notice a negative thought or an anxious thought, just tell it to stop. Pause. It's not your time yet. You have your own time set aside, worry time. You are welcome to come back then. And hopefully that in itself will just sort of diminish and reduce the intensity from that anxious thought. Another top tip is to face the things that you want to avoid. So we call it exposure training. Now, if you're petrified of spiders, I wouldn't advise to go and hold a tarantula. But the idea of to maybe look at some photos of some common spiders, just observe your response. Because the truth is, it's so easy to avoid situations or rely on the habits that make us feel safer. But that's how anxiety will keep going. You are letting that old part take over. You could consider shifting the focus. So some people find relaxation, mindfulness, or breathing exercises helpful. They reduce tension and they focus your awareness on the present moment. And I will take you through an exercise shortly. You can shift the focus internally or externally. And by that I mean, if your trigger is an external event, so something you can see, you take yourself internally, so you focus on your breathing. If your trigger is a thought that you've had in your own mind, then you take yourself externally. So that could be if you are out and about, that could be that you have to count all of the green cars you can see. If you are at home, it might be that you take yourself into the kitchen and you count the number of tiles on one wall, or the count of particular cups, or I was about to say that the washing on the side. Anything that just sort of takes you out of the situation and shifts your focus, which again will just desensitize that trigger. My final tip here is to reframe the thought. So when the thoughts come in, just catch it, note it. And when you're in a better place, challenge yourself to reframe it. So in the current COVID climate, it's easy to feel anxious on not seeing friends or family. But if you were to reframe, maybe it's an opportunity to learn a new skill, to become more confident with technology, so video chats, group calls, webinars. There's always another positive reframe there. So are you ready to explore your mind? So I'm now going to take you through a release exercise. It's a breathing technique, but there is an element of movement. Now this can be performed standing, seated, lying. I just want you to listen to the recording and then see what you can implement in your everyday life. So I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose and now exhale through your mouth as if you're blowing out a candle. So blow out all the air. As you inhale, focus on slowing down your breathing into a calm rhythm, and then exhale and fully release. Visualize when you take a deep breath in, that inhalation, you expand the rib cage, you grow through the tummy, expand and exhale. Just keep the breathing slow, deep and controlled. And you continue to breathe slowly and calmly. So now you're getting the oxygen you need. Realize that your only job now is to keep yourself comfortable, to keep yourself safe. So you can repeat the following phrases and just find what sits right with you. I am feeling anxious right now, but I am okay. This feeling will pass and no harm will come to me. I am safe, even though I feel this way. I will soon be calm, even though I am experiencing anxiety right now. I will get through this. And just continue to keep giving yourself the calming messages. Continue with the even breathing and just notice that your thoughts become calmer. Inhale and bring in more calmness. And as you exhale, just notice that you feel more relaxed. So we inhale calm. As we exhale, we allow ourselves to relax some more. Just keep going with the breathing. Hopefully the breathing on its own will start to have a positive effect. If you can still feel some anxiety within the body, you could consider literally shaking the body as if you're just shaking the anxiety out. So you could just start to just shake through the arms. You can shake the legs. You can literally move the whole body. So just let the body move. Just shake it out. Now, check, see how you feel. I done a fairly calm shake, but you could really imagine like running on the spot and just shaking. The last area is to relieve anxiety is the tense muscles, particularly around the head, the jaw, the shoulders. Now, you may have a desire to move, to stretch. One of the best ways that I find is if you sort of clench the eyes tight and release, or open the mouth wide and release, or pull the shoulders back and release. Some people find by clenching their hands really tight and then releasing that they can feel the muscles start to disperse. So in summary, the 4 steps. Firstly, breathe. Just remember to slow it down. Inhale, exhale. 2 is to calm your thoughts. So just repeat a sentence or 2 that sits right with you and just keep repeating until you start to believe and understand and create the pattern to just reduce the anxiety that you're feeling. 3, physically shake it out. And 4, relax your muscles, especially the jaw and the upper back. So I really hope this webinar has been of use. And I do invite you to join me on my private Facebook group, The Wellness Community. You can contact me through my website, where I have a catalogue of different breathe-in, relaxation, tension release meditations available. And I would love to hear from you on how you found the webinar, and in particular the breathing exercise. Stay well, stay safe, and please look after you.